Hey everyone, you're on Reddit Reveals. Let the story play out, and afterward let me know in the comments whose side you're on. She didn't even hear the phone ringing. That's how into him she was. Laughing, twirling her hair, sitting sideways on our couch like a teenager on a date. My wife, in our living room, talking to him on speaker, like she didn't have a husband who just walked through the door. And when she finally noticed me, she didn't hang up. She didn't panic. She didn't even flinch. She just held up a finger like I was interrupting her shift at a call center. I stood there, keys still in my hand, grocery bag dripping milk on the floor, watching this stranger I married lean back, giggle, and say, "Hold on, baby, I think Joel's home." She called me by name. To him, not my husband, not "I'll call you later." Just, Joel's home. Quick note, before we go on, let me know what city you're watching from. I want to see where this story travels. I dropped the bag. Milk hit the floor with a loud plastic slap, but she didn't react. "Can I call you back in 5?" she asked him sweetly. She was still smiling. I didn't say a word, I just stared at her, waiting for some kind of explanation, some flinch, some apology, anything. But instead, she locked her phone, stood up, and said, "You're early." That's what she led with. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because if I didn't laugh, I might have screamed. "Who was that?" I asked, and she shrugged. "A friend." I took one step forward, she took one back. Now, let me say something real clear. I'm not the jealous type. I've never gone through her phone, never followed her, never tracked her location. But that night, I saw everything I'd missed. The perfume that wasn't hers. The wine glasses. 2 of them, not one. The blanket on the couch, still warm. My couch, where I proposed to her 6 years ago. Where we used to fall asleep watching old movies. That couch. I pulled out my phone and showed her the picture. I'd taken it 2 nights earlier when I had a weird feeling and checked the camera I installed in the front entry. Caught a man I didn't recognize walking out of my house. Her hoodie on his arm. She blinked. Her mouth opened. Then the phone in her hand buzzed. Again. This time, she looked down and froze. Because on her screen was a new message, and right under it, the name on the caller ID said, "Joel, husband." Scene ends with, I saw her face drain white as she read the ring emoji next to my name, like she'd forgotten who I was. She stared at that screen like it was about to explode in her hands. Her fingers twitched, her lips parted like she had something ready, but nothing came out. Just a long, stunned silence. I didn't move, I didn't blink. I waited. I wanted to see how far she'd try to lie her way through this. She looked up. "Joel, I know how this looks, but you don't have the context." I laughed again. Same broken sound as before. "Is that really the explanation you're choosing?" She blinked fast, clutching the phone like it could save her. "There are things I haven't told you." "No, it's not." I pointed at the wine glasses. "He was here, wasn't he?" She looked at the floor. That was all I needed. "Was he here when I was at the dentist last week?" I asked. No answer. "When I went to help your brother move 2 weekends ago?" Still nothing. That silence? That told me everything. Then she whispered, "It didn't start how you think." I stepped toward her. "How did it start, Rachel? Huh? Did he trip and fall into our house? Land on our couch? Spill wine on your shirt and you just had to take it off?" Her arms folded across her chest. Defensive now. Angry I caught her. Not sorry she did it. That made me snap. "You don't even know his name," she shot back suddenly, lifting her head like she'd caught me in something. "So don't act like you know what this is." I took 2 more steps, and she backed up into the wall. "You're right," I said. "I don't know his name. But the ring next to mine and your phone, that means I'm the one who pays for this house, that couch, that wine, everything you used to cheat on me. She went quiet again, but her eyes were doing that thing, calculating, spinning lies, trying to find an escape route. Say his name, I told her. Right now. She didn't. That's when I pulled my phone out of my pocket and opened the Ring app. She knew the cameras were there. I made her help me set them up, but she must have forgotten or just didn't think I'd ever check. Want to see when he showed up? I asked. Her face dropped. She didn't answer, so I hit play on the latest clip. The timestamp said 11:43 in the morning, less than an hour ago. There he was, gray hoodie, backwards hat, smug as ever, grabbing her around the waist at my front door, kissing her like he owned the place. Scene ends with, I turned the screen toward her and said, "Smile, Rachel. You're starring in your own movie now." Rachel didn't even try to deny it after that. She just stood there, arms limp at her sides, mouth slightly open, like she couldn't decide if she wanted to scream or cry. I wasn't interested in either. I wanted the truth, and I wanted it raw. How long? I asked, dead calm. She rubbed her forehead and whispered, 5 months. I had to look away. I'd been waking up next to this woman, making her breakfast, kissing her goodbye before work, while she was out here playing house with another man for almost half a year. I gripped the edge of the kitchen counter to steady myself. My fingers went numb. My brain was trying to crawl out of my skull. I turned back toward her. How do you look me in the eye every day knowing this? Rachel shook her head, like I was the one being unreasonable. I crossed a line I told myself I never would, Joel. That's supposed to make me feel better. No, I'm just saying. It started when we weren't doing good. You were distant, always tired, always stressed about money. Because I worked 60 hours a week to keep us afloat. And I didn't feel like you saw me anymore. I stared at her, not even blinking. So you found someone else to see you? She didn't answer. Didn't need to. Her silence was louder than any excuse. I started pacing. I needed to move or I was going to lose it. My heart was pounding so loud I couldn't hear anything else. I opened the fridge just to grab something, anything, and stood there like I was looking for answers behind the condiments. I closed it without grabbing anything. Then I asked what I swore I wouldn't. Do you love him? She looked up at me like I just kicked her. What? You heard me, yes or no? Her mouth opened, then closed. I can't give you a clean yes or no. That was my answer. Right there. I nodded slowly. My ears were ringing. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door, not even knowing where I was going, maybe my brother's place, maybe nowhere. I just needed out. My foot hit the front porch when I heard her say it, low and quick, almost like she didn't want to admit it. I didn't mean to fall for him. I stopped cold. She fell for him. It wasn't just physical, wasn't just a mistake. She gave him what used to be mine. Her attention, her secrets, her time, her heart. Scene ends with, I turned around, looked her straight in the eyes and said, then you better call him, Rachel, because as of now, you don't have a husband anymore. I didn't sleep that night. Not a second. I drove around until the gas light came on, then sat in a 24-hour diner for hours, just nursing black coffee that tasted like burnt mud. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. When she said it, I didn't mean to fall for him. Like it was an accident. Like love was some pothole she tripped into with her eyes closed. At 6 a.m, I went home. I didn't have a plan. I just knew I wasn't done. Rachel was in the kitchen, still in yesterday's clothes, pacing like she hadn't slept either. She looked up, probably expecting me to yell. I didn't. I walked past her into the bedroom and opened the top drawer of her nightstand. That's where she kept her backup phone, the one she used for work calls and family. She never let me touch it, but this time I wasn't asking. I scrolled through her recent messages, my hands cold and steady. It didn't take long to find him. Cal. Just Cal. No last name. Like a secret. She had him saved under a fake business name, too. Greenfield Adjusters. I clicked the thread. Pages of texts, inside jokes, memes, voice notes, and photos. Photos of them in my house. In my truck. On my back porch. I took screenshots of everything, sent them to myself. I wasn't planning on revenge at first, but now I wanted him to feel it, not just her. Him. She came into the room and froze when she saw what I was doing. Joel, don't. Don't what? Find out how many ways you betrayed me? Just, please don't go after him. This is between us. I stood up, shoved the phone in my pocket, and said, No, Rachel. The second he stepped into my house and touched you, it became about him too. I didn't yell. That's what scared her the most. I think part of her thought I'd scream or cry or punch a wall. But I was past all that. I was ice cold, focused. She followed me outside in bare feet, calling after me. But I didn't turn around. I got in my truck, backed out of the driveway, and pulled up the address from one of the photos. Some lazy shot of them in front of a white house with a red door. Scene ends with, as I drove toward that red door, one thought kept running through my mind like a loop. You had my whole heart, Rachel. Now I'm giving him all my fury. Cal's house was in one of those newer developments in Lakewood. Cookie-cutter homes stacked side by side with fake stone columns and 2 bright porch lights. His driveway was clean, grass freshly edged. Real starter family vibes. I sat at the end of the cul-de-sac for 10 minutes, watching. No movement, no car, just silence. That gave me time to think. I had his name, his number, his address, and proof. I could have torched his life in 10 different ways, post the screenshots, email his job, print the photos, and leave them taped to his door. But I didn't want to humiliate him anonymously. I wanted him to look me in the face and know exactly who I was, so I waited. At 7:34 in the morning, a black SUV rolled into the driveway. He got out in business casual, slacks, button down, Bluetooth in his ear. Confident, chill, oblivious. This man had no idea the husband of the woman he'd been sleeping with was parked 40 feet away, watching him like a hawk. I waited till he went inside. Then I drove back home. I needed to think bigger, smarter. Something he wouldn't see coming. Something neither of them would. When I walked through the front door, Rachel was sitting on the floor in the hallway. Knees pulled to her chest, her eyes red and swollen. She looked up, but I didn't stop. You went to his house, she said quietly behind me. I did. She wiped her face and stood up. Did you talk to him? Nope, her voice cracked. What are you going to do? I turned around slowly. That depends on you. She looked confused. Me? You're going to send him a message right now. Tell him it's over. I already told him, no. You're going to do it. And I'm going to watch. She hesitated like I'd asked her to cut off her own arm. I grabbed her phone from the counter and held it out. Now, Rachel. She unlocked it, hands shaking, and opened the thread. I stood right over her shoulder. She typed, I can't do this anymore. It's over. Don't contact me again. I watched every letter. Then I told her to hit send. She did. 1 minute later, his reply came in. Is your husband making you send this? I smiled. That smug man still thought he had control. I leaned over and typed one word back from her phone. Yes. Scene ends with... Then I grabbed my own phone and hit record, because I wasn't done. And what came next, I wanted evidence of. I didn't tell Rachel what the recording was for. I just said, you'll find out. And I meant it. The truth was, I was done playing the hurt husband. She didn't deserve my sadness anymore. I wanted her to feel what I'd felt. Shocked, cornered, helpless. But more than that, I wanted him to know exactly what kind of woman he'd been involved with. The moment she went upstairs to shower, I opened her laptop and logged into her email. I knew her password, our anniversary date, which now felt like a joke, and found exactly what I needed. She'd sent him photos, some tame, some definitely not, a few taken in our bed, one with her wearing my flannel shirt. I didn't save them. I didn't need to. I just kept scrolling, searching for anything useful. Then I saw it, an invitation. Hey, babe, that work retreat thing I told you about? It's this Friday. I booked us a room under my name. Can't wait to finally wake up next to you for more than just a few hours. The hotel was in Seattle, just far enough to be out of sight, just close enough to sneak off without anyone raising questions. My heart pounded as I read it again. She had no clue I knew. By the time she came downstairs, I was back on the couch like nothing happened. She stood in front of me with damp hair and puffy eyes. I didn't move. I sent the message. I did what you asked, she said softly, trying to hold on to some kind of peace. I nodded. Good. She watched me for a second. Are you gonna forgive me? I looked her dead in the face. Eventually. It wasn't a lie, but it wasn't a promise either. She didn't ask anything else. She went into the kitchen and started making coffee, like we were just going to pretend the last 48 hours hadn't happened. I waited until she left the room again, then opened the camera app and started recording a new video on my phone. In it, I spoke clearly, calm, staring directly into the lens. My name is Joel. Today is Wednesday. This is a record of what I'm about to do and why I'm doing it. My wife, Rachel, has been cheating on me with a man named Cal. I found the details of their planned hotel meetup. I'll be there first. I stopped recording, saved it. Then I booked a room at the same hotel, one floor above theirs. Same date, same night. But mine was just for one person. Scene ends with, I smiled to myself as the confirmation email hit my inbox. Let them play house. I'd be watching from upstairs. And this time, I'd be ready. The drive to Seattle was quiet. Rachel thought I was headed to a buddy's fishing cabin for the weekend. And for the first time in a long time, she didn't question me. That should have made me feel free. Instead, it made my skin crawl. She'd gotten too comfortable lying to my face. That was about to change. I checked into the hotel late Friday afternoon, using the same alias I saw Cal mention in the email. Mr. Reynolds. Guess he liked playing pretend. I made sure my room was one floor up, directly above theirs, just like I planned. I brought a small Bluetooth mic and a portable voice recorder. Stuff I use for work sometimes when testing security systems. Now I had a personal reason to use them. Their room was booked under his name. Rachel didn't want anything traced back to her, which was stupid considering I had screenshots, audio, dates, everything. I sat in my room for over an hour, lights off, waiting, sipping hotel coffee that tasted like warm ash. At 6:47 in the evening, I heard the ding of the elevator through the thin walls, followed by muffled footsteps and laughter, hers. I knew that laugh. The fake, flirty one she used when she was trying to charm her way through something. I had to grip the edge of the desk just to stay in my chair. I waited 10 minutes, then grabbed the small mic, stuck it under the hallway rug just outside their door, and synced it to my phone. I went back to my room, sat down, and listened. At first, it was just ambient noise, closet doors, running water. Then I heard it, her voice, whispering something about how she'd missed him, his voice too close to the mic, telling her she was beautiful, that he didn't care what happened next, as long as she stayed. It took everything in me not to go down there and kick the door in. But I wasn't here to fight. I was here to finish this. I pulled up the photos on my phone. I emailed every single one of them. Screenshots of their texts, his hand on her leg, the hotel confirmation with a short message. Thought you might want to know what kind of man your daughter's sleeping with. Sent to Cal's mom. Thanks to Facebook and some light digging, it only took 20 minutes to find her. Scene ends with, then I hit send, closed my laptop, and turned up the volume. Because if they wanted to play house, I was going to sit back and enjoy the sound of their perfect little world burning down. 2 minutes after I hit send, Cal's voice dropped to a whisper. Through the mic, I heard him say, "Babe, did you give my name to anyone?" He sounded tense now. Real different from the smooth-talking coward I'd been listening to all night. Rachel, clueless as ever, just laughed and said, "What are you talking about?" He told her his mom had just texted, "Call me. Now." That was the moment I shut the recorder off. I didn't need to hear anymore. Let them panic. Let them scramble to figure out what just hit them. My job there was done. By Monday, Rachel still hadn't figured out how I knew everything. She walked around the house like someone waiting for a bomb to go off, flinching every time her phone buzzed, checking the front window every half hour like he might show up with flowers or a suitcase, but Cal never came back, not after that night. 2 days later, I came home early and found Rachel crying on the couch, scrolling through old photos of us on her phone like she suddenly remembered who she married. She asked if we could talk. I told her we could talk in court. I filed for divorce that same week, gave her the house. I didn't care anymore. I just wanted out. She begged. She offered to go to counseling, said she made a mistake, said I was the love of her life. That part made me laugh. You don't cheat on the love of your life, Rachel. You cheat on the guy you never deserved in the first place. Cal got dropped from his job not long after. Turns out his mom forwarded everything to his boss. HR doesn't look too kindly on senior reps sneaking off to hotel rooms on company time, especially not with a married woman. Shame. As for Rachel, she called me 2 weeks ago from a new number. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail, said she's lonely, said she misses me, said Cal ghosted her and she doesn't know what went wrong. I didn't delete it. I keep it on my phone. Not because I want her back, but because every now and then, when I doubt myself, I hit play and remind myself exactly who she really is. It's been a month now. I moved into a smaller place, closer to my shop, got a dog, started sleeping again. Real sleep. No nightmares, no guessing games, no second phone under the pillow. Just peace. Scene ends with, and the best part, I didn't have to lift a finger to destroy her. I just let the truth do the work. And it wrecked both of them better than I ever could have planned. Did Rachel deserve a second chance? Or did Joel do the right thing by walking away? Tell me in the comments. And if you made it this far, hit like and subscribe for more stories like this. 4.